Hey everyone, welcome to this awesome interview episode of Electronic Cafe. Mark and I have just had the very good fortune to meet the legend that is Mick MacNeil from Simple Minds. Just an amazing conversation.
You know, it was a real thrill for us because he's just a phenomenal keyboard player. The sound that he had with Simple Minds was amazing. And what a nice guy. What a funny guy and great stories. And
let everyone dive in and see the chat we just had with the fabulous Mick MacNeil, mate.
Exactly. Everybody jump in and have a look at this chat with the brilliant Mick MacNeil, formerly of Simple Minds.
I would never trust the sound guy to mix your keyboards. Would you ever do that, Mark? Like, you could actually trust these people.
Well, I'll be honest. I didn't have as much as you, so
yeah.
So Mick, from your vantage point at the back of the stage with your rig and everything, I mean, you stood behind you and Charlie. You saw some massive shows, Verona, Live Aid,
just a few.
Yeah, some really big shows. What was your favourite show at that time? What?
Yeah, that's funny, Mark, talking about that, because I feel that's a great vantage point. Being keyboard players like yourself, you're usually up in a wee riser. And you're looking at the backs of the band, you're looking at the arses, right? And you can see all the audience, you can see how fat the bass player's getting. I think, and then I've got an eye contact with Mel, so, and that was such a power scene, because I knew, I just trusted that Mel was the top musician out of all of us. But we're all kind of flaky from it. Even though I did a kind of musical kind of training, and I know the guys never, I still felt like we were a bunch of chancers, really. But this guy, wasn't he? This guy was the real machine. And even when, in moments of doubt, when you're looking at all these people and you're about to start up, and you can really you can bottle it quite easily. I look at Mel and he just looks over and gives a smile, that kind of reassures. If he thinks I should be here, then I've got the right to be here. That feeling. So it's like, this is my space. You own that wee moment. And I think that's that makes you step out yourself a little bit, where you can really present it. Yeah. But when you're looking at the gigs and you're looking at all these shows, to be honest with you, Mark, they kind of blend into each other after years. There's obviously people say, the Barrowlands in Glasgow. I fucking hated the Barrowlands. And I still hate it. I've done gigs where I've been a sound guy for my brother's band, funny enough, for 15 years in the Barrowlands. And I bloody hate getting out the venue. I hate making my way home. I hate the whole area. I hate getting squashed in amongst people with no chairs. I want to go to a gig now if I couldn't sit down. But there's a few, like I was in Dundee recently. There was a Scottish Music Awards in Dundee. And I remember the Dundee gig we did when it was probably like a Sunday Fascination kind of tour. And it was the Kerch Hall. And at the very, very back, there's like the balconies, kind of quite shallow balconies at each side. So they're right there again, a bit like the Newcastle City Hall. I feel that a bit intimidating because somebody's seen how simple my parts are. When they're looking down in my hands and I'm only going like that with one finger. I want to make it look like I'm really busy and I'm really technical and I'm really good. I'm kind of bluffing it. But anyway, on this particular Dundee night, and Dundee's got a special wee place. I remember me and one of my roadies pulled a couple of birds in there, and the birds beat the shit out of each other. With posters that we'd given them. Giving them posters. And these two girls are battering each other on the street. I'm shouting at the bus driver, drive.
Anyway,
Well, I had a few joints and it was going through all moody stuff, maybe something like Seeing Out the Angels or something like that. And we're trying to, it's all moody in the dark light. And I'm looking right up at the back of the Caird Hall and you can see the silhouettes of people standing up there on the back seats, just as single individuals. It honestly looks like remember Elvis Presley Jailhouse Rock video or something?
Yeah.
You see all these people and they're just tiny wee and they're all grooving away right at the very back.
Nice.
I think, wow, they're having a great time. So the front row can stuff it. I'm in with these guys.
I'm up there.
America's a boyfriend, untouched by flesh or hair. Heartbeat under, heartbeat under, heartbeat under, heartbeat under some promised land. Love song, love song.
You hang on to wee memories, we kind of nuggets like that, rather than Live Aid would be the obvious, like, you can Live Aid again. I'm just looking at Jim's arse, and I think he tore the arse from his trousers that day because his trousers were terrible. He's got this gear on. It's like, what the hell is he wearing?
He had the white trousers on, didn't he?
I'm thinking, does his mother know he's got this clothes on? My mother would have killed me for wearing an outfit like that on a big TV show.
We're going to ask you a question about Live Aid. You just answered it.
Well, yeah. I mean, we saw some of your massive shows, and they were fucking loud every time.
I know.
They were really loud.
Suffering.
I remember once sitting next to one of the side stacks on one of your shows. And it was probably one of the loudest shows I've ever been to. But I mean, obviously, Live Aid is special because it's gone down in folklore and it's got the history attached to it. And that was the first time you ever played "Don't You Forget About Me" live as well, wasn't it?
Was it? Yeah, I don't know. Probably. I mean, it definitely been a hit anyway. Yeah, because we hadn't been on tour. We went straight up to Bearsville Studios after Live Aid. Because I remember straight getting put onto the bus to do the bunks in the bus, fell asleep off the back of the Live Aid party and woke up in Bearsville, upstate New York, in this kind of rainforest. The whole thing was like a kind of movie. You're kind of just getting shuttled and you're going in there, Mick, there's your gear, it's all set up, away you go. Set me into play mode. But I always remember leaving Live Aid. That was so cool because all the stars out there, of course, and when I meet people, I assume they want to hear stories about stars, and I start talking about it, and they don't really. They end up saying, "All right, name dropper he is," and that's a total killer. I've got a terrible story with them. I'm not going. It's too long. Anyway, in this one, we'd finished on stage. Everybody's wanting to go. They'd done the whole big ending and all that, and obviously the traffic's horrendous getting into the stadium. Darrell Hall and John Oates, they've got a big limousine sitting with stars want to be stars. So they push everybody aside. The limo doors open. This is the kind of backstage area. These two dive in, Darrell Hall and John Oates. The doors shut. The windows go up and it's black too and it's scorching hot. They're not going to go anywhere. I mean, eventually the windows come down a wee bit to let air in. And then all the windows are all the way down. Then the doors are open. They two just come out. The whole exit was kind of, the class of it was all drawn right down to the basics.
Love that. Going back to all the albums you played on, I mean, you've worked, I think you mentioned already, like you worked with Lecky, Lily White, Trevor Horn, Lipson. I mean, obviously each one of those gave the albums a distinctive sound, but were the songs pretty much fully formed going to the studio? Did those guys really help shape those sounds for you?
Yeah, I mean, we did work hard pre-album.
Yeah, I bet.
Post, we had a lot of arrangements. We still left lots of room for things to move in different directions. I would say Jimmy Iovine did have a big part in kind of drawing out the whole kind of song thing. My recollections of Alive and Kicking, for example, I mean, Alive and Kicking, again, I feel the melody in Alive and Kicking's Celtic. It's like, if I was to play that in the accordion, you couldn't stop tapping your feet and get up for a jig, right? It's almost like a joke melody. But you put a string machine and get a nice big string sound on that, and it's an epic sound, isn't it? You've turned what's a simple wee melody into something kind of epic.
What you gonna do when things go wrong? What you gonna do when it all cracks up? What you gonna do when your love burns down? What you gonna do when the flames go up? Who's gonna come and turn the tides? What's it gonna take to make a dream survive? Who's got the time to come and storm aside? Don't say goodbye, don't say goodbye. In the final seconds, who's gonna save you?
But with him, he told Charlie and I to go into that barn. He got Mel and John Gilden. You go to that barn because we're up in Bearsville. Charles Grossman, he owns it. So all these houses. He was a lovely man. All these houses, and then he would go down to let's all go down to the barn and see how the rhythm section's getting on, And Mel and Big John, and Big John was so funny guy. He was like, I don't think he liked it up there. He called it the perpetual perimeter. And they would go into the groove that they had for Alive and Kicking, and it was like, wow, that's really good. Dum, dum, dum. Nothing else playing. They just played this groove. And I have been sitting there like, I like that. Yeah, I like that. Like a squeaky wee New York tone coming out of this wee skinny wee guy, not eating a pizza. And, and then it was, what can you guys put on top of that? The way it kind of got us to think about the song, the basics of it, rather than everybody going and jam and all out what you can. Basically that scenario, everybody's throwing shit at the walls. Let's see what shit sticks and see if we can stick it together. That ended at that point. Yeah. This was much more controlled, much more. You didn't throw shit at the wall because you'd be embarrassed. I was embarrassed to come in with my because I'm thinking I'm going to just ruin this.
And
that's sounding great.
Exactly.
So that was kind of Iovine pushing us down that road of being a bit more creative with songwriting, construction,
You say one more Polish night could come and blow away the doors to freedom. And that mother Ethiopia could blow away the tears we see run. Oh, blow them away. Blow them away. We will blow them away. Oh, blow them away.
Mick, Street Fighting Years was your last album and your last tour. I mean, we saw that tour. It's phenomenal. But the 2 hours on stage is the brilliant part. Being in a band, everything else that goes with it is, quite problematic and a pain. I know the sessions were problematic with Trevor Horn, I think with Mel and with John Giblin and stuff, making that album. What was the point where you decided, do you know what, I just don't want to do this anymore? I mean, hopefully you're comfortable talking about that, but I mean... Yeah, no, I'm comfortable. When you said 2 hours, by the time Street Fighting Years tour, I felt the whole gig was too long. Right? even up until that point, I wasn't a really heavy drinker and I didn't really get heavily drunk all the time, but I chose like a beer or two. And by the time you get into, if you couldn't touch that before you would go on stage, not because it would affect my playing, because I'd be bursting for a piss before I got to the end of it. And then the toilets are usually miles away from these places. At one point I had my roadie Vince get a bucket and I could just piss me a height into the bucket to save me getting off stage. Because one time I jumped down
to go away and find a toilet, and I got lost and I never came back for the encore. And I couldn't get back up. I couldn't climb back up the rig. And the band thought I was away in a huff, because they're doing the encore without any keyboards. And I'm in the by that point I said, fuck it, I'm in the dressing room. By the time they all came back to the dressing room, Jim, his face is tripping them. They all think I'm in a bad mood. They all think I've gone away in a huff. And I haven't. I'm just fucking gonna get back on the stage. But I forgot what I was saying there. All right, Street Fighting Years and my departure. It was really, musically, I love Street Fighting Years. When you were talking about the favourite albums and all that, even though Sons of Fascination in that period is so magical, even more so, I think, than the New Gold Dream, because the New Gold Dream had a destination to it and a mission to it, whereas the Sons of Fascination was totally straight creativity, raw and kept. And a lot of the tracks on that were actually captured live, like This Earth You Die, This Earth You Walk Upon, This Earth You Die. It's turning into that. I was playing that in the room and Jim's get Steve to switch the thing into record, capture that. It was all capture that. And Steve Hillage was always like, oh, fucking, he was almost like trying to keep everybody happy. And he'd done a fantastic job. I was like, at the time you get to Street Fighting Years, and a lot of that, as you were saying about, were well rehearsed, and a lot of the arrangements, the demos are pretty much what's on the record. And prior to that, Mel wasn't really that involved in the writing of it, and neither was John for that matter. So a lot of the actual bass and drums were all kind of created either by myself or other means. So it was all about the melody and the lyrical content and the overall image. And I was so happy with it. I didn't know. I'm already thinking, the amount of work, it took a year. I remember being up in Loch Earn and looking at the seasons change, and I'm looking at the clock. I'm looking at the snow, and then I'm looking at the fucking springtime, and I'm looking at wintertime again. Yeah. And we're still on the same record, So apart from that, there was I was getting a bit tired of the routine. It is a routine because I know we're going to go on tour. It's going to be a big, long tour. And the first thing that's going to happen after that tour is we're going to start writing again. And we're going to start resting again. And then it's here we go again. It's that it becomes very, very, very samey. And all of the whole, my whole life, being live wasn't an ambition. I've never wanted to learn an instrument to go and perform in front of people. It was never one of my goals, even though I totally understand it, the adrenaline, the need for it, and the continued need as that grows. Whereas my thing, as soon as I hit the first studio with John Leckie, I just loved the studio. I thought, this is my domain. I love taking something doesn't exist and ending up with this noise that's coming at these speakers, sounding with a professional producer and all the equipment. I just totally fell in love with that. Yeah. And I was always itching to be there, and I hated to be taken out of that environment. When it gets to that point, you're thinking, I love the sound of the speaker. No, go and do it live. And you're like, okay, I've done it live in your own way, and I did do a lot of changes to do it live without trying to copy what we did already. Attempts at copying what we did as well. It's quite successful because we never ran any tapes or anything. I played most of the stuff or compromised what wasn't there.
And when you walk away, the hope is gone. Tell me what is right, what is wrong.
Is this the way it was planned? This is your land, take it in your hand. This is your land, wherever I go, way down here.
But the task and the job involved in that was work. That was actual heavy grafting. That was heavy lifting. Yeah. Whereas the creative element of it was mental, and it was stressful, and it was so much more satisfying than hearing a big cheer for what you've just done already. Yeah. To me, that was almost part of the job, expecting that. That wasn't a bonus. They're not all going to boo you. No matter what, if you go out there and you're in the charts, unless you make a complete pincy, they're going to get cheered, didn't you?
Yeah.
So, true. But they may not like the album. You're presenting something new to somebody. you're in a really vulnerable place at that point, and that's a bigger risk than actually going out and performing what they already heard.
Yeah, I'll get that.
They can remember outside of midnight. They can remember attraction of fame. Like a glittering prize, I saw you up on a clear day. First it came hard, then our last breath away. Was full of time was by your side. We were spending time, we were staring out.
Well, 2016, you got the Ivan Novello Award for contribution, or outstanding song contribution. That must have given you some sense of satisfaction.
Yeah, well, it did. I didn't expect that, and I didn't even actually know I was getting that. There's a story behind that as well. Yeah, I didn't realise it was for a whole body of work by the time I got there. And when I was sat down in the hotel and doing it, Marble Arch there, they played a compilation of all the tracks, a massive PA. And I'm like, wow, that really does sound good. And there's all these other kind of celebrities, Mark Damon and all that. That his name, Mark Damon.
Yeah.
It was some other kind of people that were all raving about us and saying how much of an influence we were that I didn't know about. It was like it was a real self pat on the shoulder that I didn't expect to come at that point in my life, because I hadn't seen the guys for years before that. I think it was just the fact that they couldn't give them it on their own without giving the other people that would be written on it. There is a wee bit of a thing with Derek not getting involved in that, and he should have been a part of that night.
He should have been.
As a composer.
And mate, going back to your own stuff, so in 97 you released, was it People, Places and Things, and you got a new album coming out soon? Is there anything you can tell us about?
Yeah, I'm here in Malaga at the moment.
Oh, nice.
This was a project I've looked at. I've put stuff up on Facebook over the last couple of years because I was living in the Western Isles of Scotland. The winters were brutal, by the way. That's why I thought, I'm not having another winter like that. I'm coming for the hot winter. So I've been here for the winter. It's great.
Mate.
Yeah. Anyway, I put this stuff up, and all I was doing was extracting what I did melodically. No, actually try to recreate anything. It actually started when somebody put up some stuff from Themes for Great Cities, different versions of it. Why didn't you do a Themes for Great Cities, Mick? Well, let's do that. And I was even talking to Derek and Brian. They came up to visit me in Barra, and we recorded a couple of wee things, and it's really good. Came up with John Leckie, actually. And we had a really cracking few days going over old times and playing, and I set it up in my shed at the back, and the fucking Force 9 went there. It was a really back to raw. To get to Barra, it's a 5-hour ferry trip, right? So by the time you get there, you're kind of grateful for solid ground, if nothing else. Anyway, and I'm thinking about, all right, what can we do? I could start looking at some plugins and get some loops going and do my version of Themes for Great Cities, and I recorded us all doing it, and it just sounded like us doing it like we did back then. Everybody kind of played the same parts, and I just felt like we can't compete with these other people. They're too good. We're going to sound like a cheap version of ourselves against, these other versions. So I just played what I could very slowly on the piano, just the actual melody, nice. And I thought, I like that. And I let Steve Lipson hear it, and I asked him, would you go to mix that? And Steve Hillish put a nice wee bit of guitar on it. It was so simple. It took me minutes. I thought, I'm just going to put something together using any ideas. So I had old videos of us on tour, and I would just sit and play pianos backing for it. And I'd pull out what I did just for the melody line and play a version of it on the piano late at night. So I based it around that theme. Mick sitting in his pajamas at midnight, just playing away with himself. And I was quite happy with a lot of the wee things that I had. It created a whole mood that I thought this could work as a collective collection. I thought I'll finish it here. I came over to Malaga, I bought a wee keyboard, I had my laptop, and I just sat there looking out the window. And I would work it on a kind of rough arrangement, and I just play the thing live, one take, and that's it, and record it.
Like Theme from Glory Days, right? That's what it's called.
That was it. Yeah, so I've called the album that. That's what I renamed. Themes for Great Cities.
Yeah.
As what was it called? I can't even remember the title. I called it. Oh yeah, Fortune Favours the Brave. That's what I kind of title. I was just giving them slightly different titles to kind of give them a sort of new image. More of a cinematic image, really, more than anything else.
Looking forward to hearing it.
I pre-ordered it earlier in the week, actually.
Yeah, all right, okay, good.
I've heard some clips off of it. I mean, it's like full circle, because you had some beautiful kind of Gallic piano lines in your songs. I mean, I bought this a couple of weeks ago, which has got the Street Fighting Years live show on it. Oh yeah, which has the track When Spirits Rise. You used to have that as the intro, didn't you, to your live show?
Right. Yeah, that was a good intro.
Which is with the bagpipes and everything, and you can hear the thunder and like the whispering and everything. I mean, that's kind of got a full circle from where you came from.
Totally. Absolutely. That's why I did that, Mark. I actually I just bought a microphone because I had no gear here. I'm in this guy's flat. But by the time I'm leaving, I knew I can't get all my stuff in the luggage. I'm going to have to put it in the bin or give it away. I bought speakers, and then I need a mic. So I goes away to buy a mic in the local music shop, and it was crap. And I was like, oh. So eventually talked me into buying a Neumann. I spent 500 quid in this microphone. I was like, I'm taking this home with me. And all I did was whisper into it, and create some thunder noises. And pretend just to kind of bring that back to where it came. Because I remember live, the whispers and the thunder, the whispers sounded like rain when it comes out the PA. And what I did with there, I went round all the guys in the road and the stage crew, just whisper something into my it was an Akai S6000 or something I had, and sampled it all. Everybody say what you like, because it's all going to just whisper it. And they all whispered into this mic, and I just put it all together, and I put it on a note, and it was... And I thought and when you hear it, the PA and then the thunder comes in, it was like, well, that's pretty cool. So I thought it as an idea that kind of worked. I thought I'm going to just use that as a kind of flashback. It's almost like that's where it started, like bookending those kind of melodies.
Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful piece of music, that. It's amazing.
Yeah, thanks.
Mick, thanks for your time. Before we finish, we just want to ask you a couple of fun questions. It's been a massive thrill for us because, I mean, your body of work was a massive part of our DNA growing up. So you were one of the reasons that I started playing the keyboards in the first place. Nowhere near as good as you, but you were one of the reasons. I don't
believe that, because I'm pretty flaky. If you're saying that, I'd hate to hear you then, Mark.
Yeah, I'll save you.
You don't have to be a genius to do what I do. That's what I was going to say, because see these things about the slow melody aspect of it, because they're so simple, and almost an 8-year-old could play what I've done. My only saving grace is how I play it. And I think that's just it's always important how you deliver something. Regardless how good the melody is, you can throw it out there and it will sound terrible, but you can try and play it with a little bit of expression, a little bit of feel. And the simplest melodies in the world just sound great. And that's exactly what it's 50% of it is a performance rather than the actual what it is.
Well, I mean, for me, the three big influences was Nick Rhodes, obviously, because of the look and everything. And it was you and Billy Currie, just because the way the classical feel to the piano sound with all the synths and that behind it was just, for me, it was just mind-blowing. Book of Brilliant Things, the intro for that on Live in the City of Light is just amazing. Yeah. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, Billy Currie's great. Yeah, he's some guy. I love
He's
that. I
lovely
mean,
guy.
again, that was the great stuff with the earliest Ultravox stuff. Billy Curry was just blew
Yeah.
me away.
Just what is moving on and what is going on. In dreamer, courage of dreams, in transition, Trans-American.
Okay, so Mick,
Yeah.
if you were stranded on a desert island, what would be your desert island disc? What would be the album? I mean, obviously it changes every week, but what would be the album that you would take on the desert island?
Does it have to be one of your albums?
No.
No.
That
would be a nightmare. I would probably take a Vangelis album.
Oh
And
wow!
I was thinking about him recently. I remember because late last spring or something, we went to Rhodes, and I remember hearing Spiral. You know, the unknown man playing in the distance, because obviously the Greek thing and the different tones of that. I mean, I just that's the kind of thing you don't get bored with. It doesn't annoy you. If you take some, even Dark Side of the Moon, I would love Dark Side of the Moon, but I'm going to go with Spiral by Vangelis.
Yeah.
He used to have the girl, Irene Papas. Have you heard of her?
Yeah.
Do you know who she is? I mean, I remember hearing this thing. It was called The Little Orange Tree or something like that. Fantastic track. I mean, it's not unlike the Gladiator track, really, you know, like with that kind of Greek singer. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, no, you're right. Final question, buddy. Table for four for Mr. MacNeil. Who joins you, dead or alive? Who's the three guests you'd want?
All right, well. Okay, seeing as I'm going through a kind of questioning religious thing, I'll take Jesus. Right? Because then you can
That's an amazing answer.
get the facts from the source, right? That would be number one. Maybe Elvis. I wasn't a massive Elvis fan. I was just in awe of how beautiful he was, you know, and just the velvet. I mean, he was obviously caught up with the fame and the biggest act in the world. Either him or Michael Jackson, just for the exact same reason. Not because, even though I love them both. I love Michael Jackson's stuff, but just for the feeling of how did you survive this life with that weight.
Yeah.
Who else? That's two, isn't it? Am I the third person?
You're the fourth. So you got one more. So you got
one more. Elvis. Okay. I think I'll just stick with a threesome.
Fine.
You haven't got to pay for the meal, so.
Oh, no, I mean, he would turn the loaves into fishes anyway. What I mean,
yeah, good point.
Don't worry about the bill with that guy. Plenty of wine.
Yeah, that's key, mate. Listen, this has been an absolute joy for us.
Yeah, for
so
me
nice
too.
to chat to you, buddy. We are, as Mark said, totally honoured to have you on. Yeah, you played a huge part in our musical tapestry, and thank you for coming on the Sunday afternoon for us. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, my pleasure was all mine. Thank you, Andrew and Mark. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll get this out in a couple of weeks, mate. We'll let you know when it's going out. It'll be a great episode, and we'll be proud to put it out with you on it.
All right, thanks very much. Really appreciate it.
Thanks very much.
Enjoyed it, chaps.
Yeah, likewise, mate. Love it. And if you're ever in London, let us know. We'll buy you a few beers.
I'll do that.
100%.
Definitely.
Good luck.
Right, take it
Thanks,
easy.
Mick. See ya.
Right,
Take care, buddy.
Bye.
1,000